Hey guys, this is Carter. I'm here with back to the channel. Today I'm going to give you a Kansas City Chiefs NFL grade. So I'm going to grade their team. I'm going to grade each position on the field: quarterback, running back, receiver, tight end, offensive line, defensive line, linebacker. So weak side linebacker, strong side linebacker, middle linebacker, and their corners, their safeties, and their special teams, including kicker, punter, returnman, and long snapper. So yeah, before this video does get started, I really appreciate it if you hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. We're to 100 subscribers. Let's get there. And also go subscribe to the NFL Nerds podcast. That's my podcast with a few of my friends. Would really appreciate it. But yeah, without further ado, let's get right into this video. Starting off with this rating system here. Obviously 140 to 155 is A plus, best of the best. 0 to 89.9 is an F. Don't be an F like the Texans probably will be. Now, starting off on the offense, Patrick Mahomes here, obviously the quarterback. Gave him a 12.4 to 12.5. This is the best quarterback in the NFL easily. I mean, it's Patrick Mahomes. What, 4,800 yards last year? He's gonna get the ball down the field, and that's what you want. He's gonna score touchdown after touchdown, and with the extra game, he might break the yards record or the touchdowns record within the next few years. I wouldn't be surprised if he does that. And then at RB1, we have Clyde Edwards-Helaire, obviously, 5.9 out of 6.5. He's a really good running back, but the reason he's so high for me here is because of his receiving ability. He had 800 yards and 4 touchdowns last year as a runner, and 300 yards and a touchdown in the receiving game, which also helps Patrick Mahomes out, especially against a really good secondary when Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill, Mecole Hardman, Marcus Robinson, they just can't get open, sort of like the Super Bowl. Yeah, and all of this was in 13 games. So Clyde Edwards-Helaire is looking pretty good. He could be the best running back in the class. I'm liking Jonathan Taylor a little bit more, but Clyde Edwards-Helaire is definitely playing quite well. And then we're gonna have Darrell Williams as the backup running back. 3.3 out of 4. He's a good backup. He give him that. He's never really been given a fair chance, in my opinion. But he has a 4.3 yards per carry last year, while only having 40 carries. Did have a touchdown and 170 yards, but yeah, he's also a solid receiving threat, with really gives him that extra, probably half a point even there. It also gives Patrick Mahomes once again an option when you have a strong secondary, or when Clyde Edwards-Helaire is hurt, he can fill in and be an okay starter, at least. And then we have Tyreek Hill, obviously. Tyreek Hill, 9.8 out of 10, 1,300 yards, 15 touchdowns last year. 50 yards a catch is huge, in my opinion. Obviously, he has great speed, fastest player in the NFL, and obviously his great agility. But something that's really underrated about him is his stamina. He doesn't get tired, and he also rarely gets hurt. Like you normally see really fast players get hurt. One fabulous example is John Ross. He's so fast, but he gets hurt. In his 40, where in 4.22 at the combine, pulled his hamstring. And that basically was his career from then on. But then we're gonna go to receiver 2, which is Mecole Hardman. Gave him a 6.1 out of 7. He's way underrated in my opinion. He's never really been given that chance. As a third receiver last year, he had 40 catches, 560 yards, and 4 touchdowns. He also has a running ability. You can give him the ball a few times. And he has good speed like Tyreek Hill. So if Tyreek ever does get injured, which is always a possibility, he can play like Tyreek Hill because he has that speed. Yeah, and he's gonna get more production now that Sammy Watkins is gone. So yeah. And then also he has another competitor here, which maybe not good for his stats, but is good for the team. I give him a 4.1 out of 5 for Demarcus Robinson. He's a really good player, underrated in my opinion. As a fourth receiver, filling in for injuries, 450 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 45 catches this year. Only 10 yards per reception maybe isn't amazing. It's not terrible by any means. But I think he's a top 3 third option in the league. He's he's great. I can't really think of anyone better. The only one I can think of right now that can contest is maybe Antonio Brown, but I really don't buy it right now. But at the tight end position, I have my number one tight end in the league, Travis Kelce. Gave him a 9.9 out of 10. Really hard to get a perfect grade for me. Probably won't happen. But 9.9 out of 10 is spectacular. He basically every game it seems he gets 8 to 10 catches, 80 to 100 yards, and a touchdown, which is ridiculous. He had 11 touchdowns last year, 1,400 yards, 105 catches, which is ridiculous. 80 has 13 and a half yards a catch. And in his 3 playoffs games, he had 360 yards on 31 catches for 3 touchdowns. He has as much production as you could ever want from, if it was a receiver. If he's with him being a tight end, he's the best tight end of all time. Tony Gonzalez is like the only one, in my opinion, that can compete. I don't think Rob Gronkowski will, by the time Travis is done, he will be the best tight end of all time. And then on offensive line, I gave him a 11.4 out of 15. So pretty good on the left side with Orlando Brown Jr., who they stole from the Ravens, by the way, and Joe Thuney and Austin Blythe at center. So that left side is looking pretty good. But I am concerned about Kyle Long at right tackle. I don't know if he's going to start there, but if he does, that's a little bit concerning. I'm not a big fan of Kyle Long. I don't think he's a very good player. I don't think he's a very back end starter in the league. You're not someone you want starting if you want to win a Super Bowl. But overall, 62.9 offense. So pretty solid there. Now let's get into the defensive line and specifically the defensive ends. I like Frank Clark. He's coming off a pretty bad year, probably worst or second worst year of his career with only 6.5 sacks. And Tim Ward doesn't have much experience at all. 1 game actually of experience, and that game he played pretty well. He had 5 tackles and a sack. I feel like he could be a good player. So I give him an 8.7 out of 10. This is based off Tim Ward's upside, which I think that he will show and he will demonstrate to everyone. And I think he will shock lots of people this year. And then defensive tackle, we have Chris Jones and Jarran Reed, making this defensive line stacked. Chris Jones was already great, and they signed Jarran Reed after the Seahawks cut him. So their defensive line is stacked. Jarran Reed is good. Chris Jones is probably the best defensive tackle in the league. Top 3, definitely. He had 7.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles last year in 15 games in the regular season. He played well. He also had 4 passes defended and 4 back down, so really impressive there. Then this linebacker core, which I am not a fan of, their weak part of their defense and of their whole team. Anthony Kitchens is my favorite. Only 78 tackles in 14 games in 2020. No sacks, no forced fumbles, or no interceptions, and no fumble recoveries. He really wasn't good last year. And the Chiefs needs major improvement from him if they do want a good linebacking core here. Then at sub and weak side linebacker, we have Willie Gay and Nick Bolton. Willie Gay is decent, I guess. He didn't play too much last year. In terms of starting, he had 40 tackles and a sack and a forced fumble, so it was a pretty good year for Willie Gay. It was his rookie year, so yeah, I feel like he had a good year for what he was expected to do here. And then we have Nick Bolton, who I am not a big fan of. The Chiefs got him at a good position for the linebackers that are off the board, but he just doesn't have much skill. And I don't think you could have someone with that minimal amount of skill starting on your team. You give him a few years and he'll be good, but his athleticism isn't gonna hold up for a starter right now because of his lack of skill. But yeah, now on to the secondary. We have our corners. We have L'Jarius Sneed here. He was pretty good in the 9 games he did play. 3 interceptions, 7 passes defended. Injuries really derailed his season last year. On pace to have a really good season, like 5 interceptions and 13 passes defended. So yeah, sucks he got injured, but against those top 10 receivers, top 5 receivers, he's gonna struggle, which is a concern for me. In their weak part of their secondary here. And then we have Travarius Ward. Travarius Ward's good. He's a good second corner. He's a really good second corner actually. He didn't have any interceptions in 14 games, but he has 6 passes defended. Also a little bit down on the depth chart. But now let's go on to the safeties. Tyrann Mathieu, Daniel Swanson, and Juwan Thornhill, which is insane to me. One of them will probably come down and play corner. But a 12.6 out of 13.5, a 7 out of 7.5. So this means this is out of 21, meaning a 19.6 out of 21 for the safeties, which is outstanding. Those three will be some of the best safeties in the league, all on the same team, which is crazy that they got on the same team in the first place. The Chiefs just drafted well, I guess. They didn't draft Tyrann, but they're like their safeties, so it's good for them. 10 interceptions, 17 passes defended between the three of them last year, and 2 defensive touchdowns to go along with it. You like that type of thing? What do you want on your team? Good for them. Then for the special teams for the Kansas City Chiefs, we have Harrison Butker at kicker. He's a pretty good kicker, I would say. Only missed 2 kicks last year, 25 or 27, 92% kick percentage. Yes, he missed 6 extra points, which isn't very good, but he was still been a really good kicker this year and throughout his career. Then we have punter Tommy Townsend. He's a good punter. 45 yards per punt. Whenever they punted, it was a little bit higher upfield. And really put opposing teams in rough positions. To try to help their defense, which was terrible last year. Because of that linebacking core, so I'm really concerned about that. Can't emphasize that enough. This quite concerning. A return game, you have a pretty good punt returner and a decent kick returner in McCole Hardman, 2.6 and 2.4 out of 3. So a 5 out of 6 in total for returning. He brought a punt to the house last year and had a 7 average. Kick returns, he's slightly worse. A slight decrease in production there, but still a really pretty good returner there in McCole Hardman. Then at long snapper, you had James Winchester. He's a good long snapper. Like most, I gave him a 1.7 out of 2. Meaning that the Kansas City Chiefs special teams is absolutely insane at 12.9. Highest one yet. Probably will be the highest one at the end of this. Can't think of another one that's better. Maybe the Ravens. Or some team with a really good kicker and a really good punter and a good returner. Don't know what that's going to be yet. But yeah, this is the total ranking for them. Gave them an A. That's what they earned. 62.9 offense, 59.2 defense, to 12.9 special teams, giving them a 135, making them my highest team I have graded yet. So the Chiefs right now on top, looking to win the Super Bowl at this point. We still got some more teams. Some big ones: Packers, Buccaneers. Lots of NFC teams left. This is only my third, but it's still the best. I'm beating out the Bills. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, you should comment down below what team you want next. Comment down below your favorite team, and I'll make that happen. If you enjoyed the video, give this video a like. I would really appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel. Road to 100 subscribers. are trying to get there, I'd really appreciate it. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.